Well, I didn't want to take some seat.
You're at.
So, I never understood. Well, light sleeve is there. Also, here's some.
The friend sometimes doesn't come.
So Sean's here, I'll sit here. Cindy.
That's Sean, go one more over.
This one's Sean? Is this one you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Sean.
So will you just slide your chair over here?
Sure.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Let's see how much rain we're gonna get this weekend.
It's supposed to be nice on Saturday. I don't know about tomorrow.
Hey, how are you, Joe?
I'm good.
What's supposed to be a bunch of rain?
We are. 42 minutes.
Okay.
The Sean's chair.
Am I in here?
It's okay.
Susan's gonna slide it over here. Why don't you sit with me?
Chair.
Susan says she's gonna bring the chair in.
Do you know the?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. It's crazy. We had.
John, I never noticed all your bling.
That's because I only had time to put half a decent uniform on.
That's right.
I mean, you definitely look legit.
Yeah. It's rain all day.
Yeah.
Kind of a lot, so.
Yeah,
Every time I get ready to take, it's starting raining.
Yeah, I know. That's not- that's
I should text Ryan.
See, in front door, yes,
not- Reducing adjustment.
Yeah, really good. Maybe it's
Yeah, it's probably swollen right now.
No, I think
I mean, it was so bad.
I'll just
pick up one anyway,
Yeah.
Hello there.
They said we're gonna have a lot of snow this year.
Ooh,
And Mrs. Rhodes gonna look like it.
I hope
So it's
so.
good.
Now you would like that.
Snow,
I love snow.
it's good like snow.
Oh, okay, I already had that. Yep. Yeah, I got it at the board meeting.
You can visit, yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Oh, that's overrated.
So Rick, there's something I keep meaning to tell you, and then when I see you, I forget, and I can't think of it right now, these are rude.
You're doing a fantastic job.
That wasn't it. And I keep waiting to take pictures, you know, we haven't had a downpour like that.
I know.
It did rain pretty hard one day, and, you know.
But it does text me.
Yeah. I know.
Just say, join me.
To come over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I sent both of those videos to ESI to let them know that this may need to be adjusted in the future.
And Doug did take some pictures another day when I wasn't there, it was raining hard, and he took some up towards, 7th
Yeah.
intersection.
What I wanna do is I wanna, in the rain when it's pouring, drive up roads and just observe, because it's coming down.
Oh, yeah.
Where can we move it, convey it somewhere else before,
Just standing.
is it exciting?
It's quite a river when it really gets going.
Is it Rose River?
Well,
The Rose Creek?
the thing is, it kind of is what it is, it's gonna go down to the creek, both places.
Right.
On Rose Street, but it's just that now, it wants to stop and puddle there,
Yeah.
it needs a. Can you see that?
Yeah.
I know you've heard me say that.
This is the first time.
But, you know, the only other
You never heard this before, right? Where are we talking about?
The only other place is over by Lloyd's. There's the creek there.
Yeah, that's a, looks like no.
This is starting part.
Slope at all.
Yeah.
So
So
that area needs to be dug out and,
it wasn't done right.
tore up.
Things from,
Well, it was all redone back
the other
then.
house, the
Where the bridge was built, yeah, and they did not do it. She had to find this reason, they big trees and they were across here, they had dug it out once. Yeah.
That's another one that we will address, because I know in front of the fire department too, is another area, the water just sits. And it brings that big rat.
Nobody has that kind of energy.
Yeah.
And,
People say you're not slow in this water, so I hate on the highway, when you're driving. Oh, they came in out of the rush.
You guys got space?
Good to see you in person.
You don't want to.
I know, it's been a while.
Summers are always busy. Last time you got there, it was like,
Cool,
oh,
thank you.
it's okay, it's so cute.
I'm not surprised,
Yeah.
happens every once in a while.
I haven't seen it all.
Been busy.
So you're not.
Summers are difficult.
I know.
No.
Okay.
For some reason, everybody likes to schedule stuff on Thursdays. What works out is Fridays are
You told me one time. about something.
never a good day to schedule stuff, so I always get Thursdays.
Just got back to someone.
Every day is busy.
Well, that's what we. That's true.
Did you bring me some rocks?
Yes.
Oh, that. Well, you were not just.
Yeah,
The witness, so I'm sure most of ours will be indoors and.
another one is the right side. Right side, the left side, so green.
That's good.
We actually have some. Way back.
Yeah, good. See how this one works. That lock says, let's pull it up. And you go back.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, you put it down, it's all set.
Do they have to be still? My son's, he's graduated. There's a school. And he has time to drive. You show my number? I can give you my number.
so he was pushing you out.
Just weird around where.
Yeah, I mean, he's hard working. He was working for Ryan at the
One minute
waste
to get some.
and decided to go back to school. He was like an internship during the summer.
It's nice to imagine, it's still hard to get. It's just so much egg over here.
I know.
Is that trying to?
Yeah. Well, in a way, it's kind of goes back to what I did.
Every time Susan wants to bring it, she zooms in on her. It's like, that's the closest sound we could zoom in on.
Yeah. So she always has to like do it here.
can move.
Okay, ready? All right, let's call meeting to order. Would you please take the roll?
Joan Eaton.
Here.
Sean Platt.
Here.
Cindy Neely.
Here.
Betsy Blakesley.
Here.
Mark Reynolds.
Here.
Bob Hamilton.
Here.
Frank Danza.
Ooh.
We're all here. Yay. Percent.
Full house.
And then, can we get through one of these?
I would like to mention that we had said that we would put a couple of things on the items to track that aren't there.
Okay.
So we should update our items to track.
Okay.
We said we would keep streetscape guidelines on the items to track, and they aren't there. And we've said that we would keep track of the Towel Street encroachment, and it is not there.
That address is.
I don't know what address Towel Street, but you know which.
I do.
Which
I do.
what to what, whatever I refer.
Okay. All right, ready, motion?
Make a motion to approve, the agenda with the changes.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Audience business. Is anyone here? have business that's not on the agenda tonight? Okay, and so we'll go right along to old and new business and the Georgetown Community School. This is Flagstone sidewalk.
This is all of us.
It's us, yeah.
I guess you could stay where you are.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I can start.
You have that chair there if you want, and, you know. There's a chair back there.
Yeah, fine, stand.
For the record, why don't you state your names and your project address?
She's our
I have a very.
We've been in this room before, we know the deal.
All right, my name is Matt Swanson. I'm the treasurer of the Georgetown School Board. Also the representative for the board on the safety committee.
Okay.
We have a situation where the east side of Rose Street, the sidewalk kind of just comes to an end there, forces kids to walk out on the street. You kind of go watch it happen every day. It's a pretty busy street, so we're trying to come up with a plan to alleviate that situation to help keep kids safe as they're walking toward downtown. So yeah, currently the sidewalk ends there. Obvious safety hazard, we need to fix it. We've come up with a few different plans. Most of them were fairly cost prohibitive. We kind of settled on this plan. I think you guys have the outline of it today. Sergeant Gaskins is the one that kind of came up with the language here, so if you want to go over the details, it'd be great.
So just to piggyback on the sidewalk, there's a packet before the committee, memorandum of proposal, and you'll find on page 3, there's a photograph that's going to be 400 block of Rose Street. That's going to be the southwest corner. You'll notice some cedar bushes or the like next to a fire hydrant. Those are the bushes in question that will be removed, and the sidewalk will be installed on the left side of the photograph. There's a sign. It's going to be just in front of that sign at the concrete pillar, and it's going to go down just past the fire hydrants to 5th Street. And the idea there is so that the kids can cross at the intersection of 4th and Rose, and then proceed down the sidewalk all the way to the downtown area without being forced into the roadway, which is what these bushes do on this side. On the other side of the street, the sidewalk abruptly ends at basketball courts, and the children are forced into the street at that location. We're also looking to install 3 high visibility crosswalks, and you'll find a representation of that crosswalk on page 2 at the very top. And you'll see the coloration of the crosswalk is not standard. Obviously different from the white markings of every other crosswalk in town. But what this is going to do is this is going to increase driver recognition by twice the distance. To quantify that, that's about 16 seconds at 15 miles an hour, which is the speed limit on Rose Street, to 8 seconds at 30 miles an hour, which is on the high end of what traffic might be traveling at. If it's congested, they won't have that ability to go that fast. Other times they might. But with that congestion on Rose Street, and you can see a picture of the intersection of 4th and Rose. That's going to be the page 2, the bottom photograph. And that was taking about midway between 3rd and 4th, closer to 4th. And as you can see, the crosswalks are indiscernible. So that added to the congestion, drivers are not paying attention to this intersection. And during summer months, of course, school's not in, but just prior to school ending and afterwards, up until what we call leaf season, and that's coming about, traffic on Rose Street is beyond what the infrastructure can handle. So while the infrastructure hasn't changed much, and that I'm speaking primarily of the road, The influx of the tourism industry, along with the population growth, has created a situation where traffic is at times gridlocked. And they're just not paying attention to the kids egress into school, as well as staff and parents. And we're trying to enhance the safety of the kids, the parents, and the staff by incorporating these high visibility crosswalks. And while you can't see it, there's a crosswalk on both sides of 4th Street on Rose. And they will be replaced with a high visibility crosswalk. They're narrow at this point in time. We intend to widen them about 12 to maybe 16 inches with the parallel lines as you see on top here. And that's going to be on either side of 4th Street. The third will be on 5th Street, where the sidewalk will end and the kids will cross at that point. And that will just enhance driver recognition of that area so that kids can cross safely. Now, I didn't include this packet, but I have some information I haven't been able to substantiate, but that kids have been nudged by vehicles.
Yes.
And if that is the case, that's an alarming epiphany. And something has to be done. And I understand that the infrastructure can't really be changed, given the size of Georgetown. So that when we have an increase in traffic, we have to do something else to try and enhance the safety so that no child is run over or parent or staff member. And that's why we've gone I've come up with the high visibility crosswalk so that maybe that would be the impetus for enhanced safety where we can't find it anywhere else.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
How come we, with the buses loading in front, why can't the buses be on top of us? That would increase visibility going up and down the street.
The problem with Taos, I believe, is during the winter months, the bus just can't get to a point where it can safely move up and down the street or, load and offload children.
Okay.
John, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
About, in our original packets, we have 3 different diagrams. And at this point, I think you're saying that you have chosen the west side of the street as the one that you would like to go with.
On 5th Street, yes, ma'am.
But that one goes right in back of the parking lot for the Teal Building. And the parking for what I always call Billiard Hall, but it was Barnes Billiard Hall, that's what it was.
Right.
But undoubtedly has the Victorian lady, what do people call it these days? The building on the corner of Baptist and Rose there.
I mean, it's 4:15.
We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's all, that's Barnes Billiard Hall. Yes, to get in front of that, but in order to do that, you're walking behind places where people will pull in to park.
Yes, ma'am. We recognize that.
And there's no sidewalk there because
Right.
there can't be.
Right. On the other side of the street, where the sidewalk ends at the basketball court, the cost to implement a sidewalk, as well as stairs, as well as retaining walls, is so exorbitant that I believe this is probably the best course, that at this point in time, the best plan of action. And that's really the only 2 plan of actions we have that's feasible.
Can I, so for the record, my name is Samantha Cooper, I'm the president of the board for Georgetown Community School. What we're trying to kind of alleviate is the majority of this foot traffic of these students actually heading to the library. That they do kind of an after-school program, if you will. It's loose, it's informal, it's godsend to parents, but most of these kids are walking down, from the school to the library. The number that are like walking home, most of those kids are pretty well versed on their safe routes home. Most parents have gone through that. So what we're trying to do is ensure that footpath that exists from the, exit onto Rose Street down to the library is as safe as possible. I know that most of you are aware of the fact we're in the middle of our renewal for our charter. It's currently in action. And one of the issues that we know is going to be brought up in our proposal is that we are an extremely safe school. Obviously, safe schools have a lot of different meaning in a lot of different aspects, but this particular aspect would be an amazing bonus for us to put into our already secure plans. And it's been a collaboration that's existed with our board, with our partners at, in law enforcement and our parent safety committee and those volunteers.
So, I live at 300 Rose, one house up. Rose Street from downtown Georgetown, from the main street to Guanella Pass is the chosen route of almost every car that is going to go up Guanella Pass, regardless of your signs that we have spread around. And most of these cars, and certainly the motorcycles, understand that when they take a turn, they're at the corner and start to come up Rose. I've seen them go 65, 70 miles an hour straight up the street. I've called the police on several occasions. I mean, it is a nightmare. And I live in fear of hearing the screeching brakes and some child who's going to get nailed. It is terrifying, absolutely terrifying. So something has to be done. This is fine, the crosswalks, but we need like big signs or it's not in the road, the bump in the road, which everybody says, oh, no, that'll never happen in Georgetown, blah, 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 blah. But I'm telling you, I watch it every single day. Don and I have a bench out in the front. It's horrifying. It's just horrifying. Somebody is going to get killed. There's absolutely.
And just to supplement that, we are looking at traffic calming devices. Again, the issue is the roads are really narrow as they are. And then when you have vehicles lawfully parking, then it becomes even more narrow. Cars in opposition can't pass each other. So we're trying to figure out what type of calming device we could put there that doesn't create an additional traffic hazard. So we are looking into it. It's just we're limited in what we're able to do on such a small and narrow infrastructure.
We do use volunteer crossing guards just as a kind of caveat for, and anyone is interested in a volunteer crossing guard, just let us know.
I saw that there.
Yeah, the town built that fabulous park. My grandchildren are from Denver, they're in that park immediately. Now they're old enough, they're probably not gonna walk in the street, but kids go to the park all the time. I mean, I hear them in the park. It's a wonderful sound. I love the sound of all the kids who are playing in the park. That is not just the school day.
That's true.
This is any time of day or evening that there are kids that are coming across the street. The cars are going a million miles an hour. I could not be more supportive of something happening there because I don't want to see it. It's just a nightmare to see these children do this.
I need to say something. This is what I meant to talk to you, but anyway. We also live on Rose Street, just a few blocks on down, and sit out on our front porch. And the traffic coming down from Guanella Pass, they've been on their beautiful seat driving out of the road to just get the hell out of town, and they hit that corner on 6th Street and take off down Rose. And there's not a stop sign for like 3 blocks. It's pretty impressive the speeds they can get just in those 3 blocks. I don't know why they hurry into the next stop sign, but it is so much traffic. So I have 2 things. One is just as you come around onto the last curve onto Rose Street to come down into town, I'm wondering if there could be some sort of a severely worded flashing sign that says, entering Georgetown, our speed limit is, don't cross us or whatever, like watch your speed, you're in town now, something like that.
Unfortunately, I would say due to our current socio-political atmosphere and the permissiveness of what's going on in the state, that people are not really adhering to signage.
Oh, nobody reads. I understand that.
And it's just one more sign with a light on it. And anytime we have a sign with lights. You know, it's an uphill battle to try and get that implemented. We're trying to figure out what we can do that will force vehicles to slow down, you know, where they have no choice. And it's just, you know, we're trying to have to figure that out.
Would it be so awful to have a stop sign on every corner on Rose Street? For one thing, I think it would cut down on traffic because people would go around the other streets.
They would go in
Instead of-
which is they're supposed to turn on, instead of,
Yeah,
and the actual route that's laid out to
Yeah.
Canal Pass is up
Well, I
Rose Street. It's
understand that.
not
yeah,
that they're choosing it over other things.
But I am here
Most
as a
likely.
witness to tell you.
yeah.
John, where exactly are those? Would you go through the crosswalks again? Because we have a series of.
Yeah, on the packet, there's a map. You'll have a map right here.
I don't have that.
All right.
And you'll see the,
Okay.
obviously not to scale.
A lot of miscellaneous stuff. If this one with the memorandum, yeah, it's in here.
It's, well, first of all, the school would.
Last page.
I don't have that. Going on Forest Street.
Yeah. City attorney, that's what it's there.
This thing gets scanned.
I'm gonna just go over the map real quick. If you're looking at the map, and it's got on the lower right-hand corner, Exhibit A, not to scale, you'll see the school. You'll see the two sets of green lines. Those are on either side of 4th Street. So those are where the crosswalks exist now. We're just gonna change them up a little bit and make them the high visibility, make them a little bit wider, and they're gonna be parallel lines without the sidebars. And then you'll see the set of green lines that are on the west side of 5th Street at the corner of 5th and Rose. Those are the 3 locations we're looking for the high visibility.
Okay, all right, because you see other maps show us something different, so I wanted to get.
So that map may show they wanted to put a crosswalk diagonal.
And then
Right.
what you want to do then is clear the space in front of 415. Now, of course, in this town, it is the property owner who is responsible for their sidewalk.
We pulled clear maps and it appears that that is town property. Those,
Oh, I know, all the
Yeah.
sidewalks are. Even though it is town property, the property owner adjacent to a sidewalk is responsible for the sidewalk. I mean, the downtown owners with all are on their property lines. They're still responsible for the sidewalk in front of them.
And-
So in essence, what do the people who own 415 Rose say about clearing off that space? Now, the town can order them to do it because the law provides for that. Under sidewalks, if somebody needs to fix the sidewalk, the town can, you know, tell the property owner, hey, you've got to clear that space. This is supposed to be a public sidewalk. But I don't know that the town can just go in there and do it. I mean, I don't want somebody walking out of here saying, oh, the DOC said go ahead, so.
Well, it's my understanding.
That's happened.
Well,
And then the property owner can quite rightly say, hey, you know, I'm responsible for that space. It's a public right of way, but the law makes me responsible for that space. So I think something has to happen with that property owner, and the property owner may say.
okay.
So I've already contacted the property owner, and I've already told them that because of the safety hazard and what the town's doing, we're gonna, I checked to see if there is an encroachment license for them to do what they've done. There is none. They said they just planted stuff long time, or it was planted long time before that. And we're gonna revoke that, and we're gonna use our town material that we already have to be able to do it. The town, so we have extra flagstone, and HGI has extra flagstone, and HGI has already given us permission to use whatever we need in order to fix that sidewalk.
But if the town is going to start fixing sidewalks.
Well, yeah, but there's,
The can of worms.
yeah, but I have the authority in order to use that for safety reason. And that's my trump card that I use. It does not mean I'm gonna fix every sidewalk in town. We do have an ordinance, like you said. But in these kind of situations, I'm not gonna put the burden on that property owner to do something that we all need as a school and town's safety for our liability, that we're gonna do it. So those are the situations that we will go ahead and do. We already have the material, and I've already spoken to the property owner, and she has no problem.
I would get. No.
Does that include
Okay,
the whole
I mean,
block?
you know, that, yes, but.
It just for that, from that section from the
Other
road.
people who operate places that the public uses might very much be interested in the town improving their sidewalk.
I get calls all the time on it.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, it might be nice if
And
they
then,
could
so
put
we've got to
some-
decide where, you know, that's not,
This is
I
all
think it
about-
needs to happen.
Yeah.
But
Understood.
and, you know, I think that's not but I don't want to, you know, so from the DRC position, I think it's a flagstone sidewalk, it's where we would put a flagstone sidewalk and everything looks great.
Crosswalks are necessary. I have one other question about as far as extra safety precautions and speeding vehicles. In Boulder, it comes to mind, around the college, they have these they have lights at the crosswalks, and when you walk up and push the button, it flashes, and then they just walk right out.
Yeah.
You have to stop whenever there's somebody in the crosswalk.
Right.
And so it wouldn't be flashing unless someone's actually pushed the button and it's, there to cross. Is something like that feasible?
Well, again, that's, number one's a lighted, implementation, but more than that, our winters are different than Boulder. So when snow and ice starts to accumulate, and it stays on some of these roads for the duration of the winter, and then they're useless.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a lot of money for a period of time that would benefit the town. There are no children, present, and really that's what we're trying to enhance right now is the safety for the children. They work when you can see the lights, So I don't know how.
Flashing all the time, it would just.
Right, until it's done.
Morning and afternoon.
It's-
We had that discussion a little bit, because they are like really, they're cool, they're eye catching.
Yeah,
One of the concerns that was brought up by the staff at the school was that if a child hits that and isn't paying attention and they just feel like it's lit,
Yeah.
they could actually intermittently put themselves in a more dangerous situation. One of the pieces of the execution of this is when it's completed is that the fire drills will actually take place on the route. The teachers of the younger kids will actually walk the route. They're gonna do like a walking excursion to the library. And then parents will also get the memo out. So we can say, hey, Connor, if you're walking to the library, don't walk in front of that car. Please take this way. In case you're wondering, Connor's mine, who walks.
I love how you use your own kid.
Ask me how I know.
so the warnings of the reflective vest, right?
Exactly, big time.
Have you
So,
looked at making South Street the designated route? Even though it's steep?
For the school bus?
No, for the pedestrians.
a lot of the kids go that way.
Even though it's steep, they're used to it.
They are used to it. The ice in the winter is tricky, and the visibility at the top of Taos is really hard. The safety committee before you were on, that was actually one of our layouts, because I sat on the safety committee before Matt did. What we do see sometimes is like people who are at the top of the hill who don't realize how steep it is, and cars are coming up speed because they don't realize how quickly it's gonna catch up to them. And cars that are coming down catch too much speed because they're confused by the layout. In the winter time, they slide.
Because an alternate would be you could shortcut by the fire tower as well.
You can
for your-
shortcut back through the Alpine Homes, but then you're still having to cross.
Then you cross at Fifth instead of Rose, but then you cross Rose.
Yeah.
So that could be an alternate if the sidewalk is not really feasible.
We also do have a lot of families, so our preschool families have to come in and sign their kids out. That's a component, obviously. And so for those families that are walking, and again, they're with an adult, so the adults are looking around, but to give them that kind of safest path, because the parking on Taos is so bad, the majority of walk-in families park on 3rd, 4th, 5th, I guess, not really 3rd, not really 5th, 3rd and 4th, and then rows. And again, they have an adult with them, and I do see that, but I think that kids are gonna do kid things, and I think to make it the quickest and flattest and most direct route, because they just want to get to the library. They want to get to their road
Direct
lots.
routes
And
are.
when
And
it's
it's
cold,
the
it's
shortest route is.
And also, again, as aforementioned, when it snows, there's no high visibility. They're gonna be covered. So the contingency is the stop signs at the 4th and Rose intersection, that cars see them and stop for them. And that's, even if they don't see the crosswalk, they see the stop sign and they're gonna stop, and then, it's gonna, and whereas if we put crosswalks, where there are no stop signs at all, then winter's gonna cover them up, and they're gonna be useless.
Fifth and Rose probably should get a stop sign in this case as well, then, because that's where you're putting the crosswalk.
We thought about that as well. What comes to mind is the amount of traffic, the volume of traffic during leaf season. If we put another stop sign on Rose Street, it's gonna be, it's
Back up to the park.
it back up to Silverdale.
Unless you detour them.
So, and then when we detour them, then we get, kickback from the residents. And so anyway, it's a catch-22, but, we thought about it, and we'll consider it again, if we can,
Is there any value in a sign indicating a school zone?
so we have a school zone with a flashing light, but
There's one in
when,
front of your
Yeah.
house.
Oh, I know.
when cars
I'm
park
sorry,
there,
you put it on my radar.
when cars park there, it just becomes yet another in the cacophony of all the vehicles and the signage and the narrow roads, and people aren't really paying attention.
Well,
And it helps to identify a school zone, but we can't count on every single driver seeing it, recognizing it as a school zone, and driving appropriately.
yeah, as a matter of fact, they don't. I haven't. But the thing I would say about that flashing light, you have a flashing light, but you have to really look to see that it's a school zone on the sign.
Yeah.
It's underneath like this.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of useless.
Mhm.
I'm saying, is it possible to have a stop sign that indicates the letters elementary school?
Well, we could do some sort of signage again on page 2 where the high visibility crosswalk is on the right side. That's a matching color sign alerting drivers to the fact that there's a crosswalk there, and it's the same color as the crosswalk, so that they can make that connection. I mean, it is possible to maybe create a sign with a high visibility sign for, there's a upcoming school or something. I'd have to look at NHTSA to see if it's going to be standard, if it's, something that we can do, but certainly it would create, it would enhance visibility and compliance, hopefully.
Well, some people still are, not gonna slow down, they're just gonna barely slow down and keep going, but most people, if they see elementary school or whatever.
Right.
School crossing, school zone,
Yeah,
I've seen them before.
That might help to enhance a little bit too. So we certainly can look at that.
We all put out the portable signs too at times, and that helps probably. during school time.
Yeah. So, and those are similar to the color we're looking for, because they're high visibility for a reason. So that's what, if you want to get a kind of a reference as to what the color of the side of the crosswalks are, that's it.
We do drag those out, the volunteer crossing guards,
Does help.
and they do help us.
I think those are more effective than anything on the
They
side of
did
the block by
get in front
cars.
of me twice last year. Like while I was standing there, someone hit the sign.
Yeah, because they're squirming around stuff anyway.
I was like, glad that wasn't a human. And then there's also the portable speed bumps that you guys have brought us before.
Like
The-
watch the way triangle.
Yeah.
What are those? Yeah.
Yeah. So, they're,
But for the application that's in front of us,
yes.
page 53, book 2, sidewalks. Sidewalks where they exist, I'm literally reading, where they exist are also significant elements. Historically, red flagstone sidewalks were seen along many of the north-south residential streets and streets surrounding the historic school and city park and along Sixth Street. In many areas, sidewalks do not currently exist and never did historically. However, yours did. A is preserve historically significant sidewalks. You're not preserving one, but B. So I would cite B, when sidewalks are to be installed or replaced, they should be compatible with the historic characteristic of the streetscape. B1, sidewalks should be made with red flagstone that matches the original in color, texture, size, and finish, which you're doing. B4, a new sidewalk should align with those that already exist on the block, and you're doing that too. That means just size, width and stuff. So I would think that we don't have anything that discusses your crosswalks, because we have never gotten into that level of street safety.
So did you say page 53? What? Did you say page 53?
53, yep, thank you. B1,
Got it.
B4, B itself, and the whole statement, which emphasizes at the end of it, sidewalks should be compatible with the surrounding area. And so I don't know how we mark that, that's.
Well, I think sometimes as we have stipulations, we could just make a note that the crosswalks are a very wise idea, indeed.
Yeah, well, so I think the paragraph, so we're also citing the lead paragraph under 4.
Okay.
And that said, I would like to make a motion to approve the application to put the crosswalks and sidewalks on the west side of Rose Street as presented in the memorandum of proposal. And let's make sure all other things don't get caught.
We should stipulate that, we're in agreement with the high visibility crosswalks. That way, it comes back, it's documented.
At this location. You don't want it everywhere.
No, I mean.
At this location.
Yes.
Right, I mean, that's, people become desensitized to the commonplace crosswalk, so that's what the reason for this. And if we put them everywhere, then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to change these back to white.
I still think you guys should write stop y'all.
Got enough Texas.
See if anyone notices. Right on the ground, stop y'all.
That's a
Yes.
second.
Second, all in favor?
Okay.
Thank you. So that's gonna cover both of them.
Okay.
I know there's 2 applications, but we kind of did it all.
Thank you all very, very much. Sincerely appreciate it.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm gonna pull this right back in here.
Thank you guys.
Sure. Oh, what's the letter?
Oh, that's fine, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I guess I could say this too, the goal was to is to save the shrubbery and we'll just replant it, so we don't just kill it.
Those are all they got.
Yeah, we'll do our best. I can't hear you.
I think for your own good, you should have something like parking on the statement.
They should say something statement about, bring this to the school.
They're responsible after it's installed too.
Does this include the Till building?
Yeah.
The Till building?
Yeah.
The apartments? Because they got gravel parking lot.
That's right, on this.
Yeah, there's been a sidewalk from the Teal building to the
Yeah, no, but that's on the other side of the crosswalk.
That's where they have this beautiful parking lot. Is that,
well, they
steps
do.
down, that's where the parking lot.
Yeah.
You see right here, there's no sidewalk that continues down there.
You know, it should be a safety issue, right?
Something needs to be.
Tired puddles there, you ice it all.
And it's open.
Yeah, there's-
It's not.
There's no sidewalk there, but they can walk and I walk.
Okay,
Okay.
moving on.
This is.
Quick Creek Legacy, Block 50, move on to. Is that you? You want to pull the chair on up and get a little closer in here? Okay.
And you'll state your name and the address of the project that you're working on.
I am Jeff Zentmatoni. It's going to be 1114 Griffith Street.
So, one of the things that we're missing is the ability to see how the house is situated relative to the streets. I don't know what thing, but I can't. Is there? Yeah, you got it.
Maybe a site plan.
Yeah,
Site plan.
site plan. Yeah, so where's the street? So.
Right there,
Is on the
Griffith.
top. Are there other streets that you're? Well, it's not.
No, it's just off Griffith.
Just, so it's Griffith is up here, so this is the front of the house. Say that again, the front of the house? This is the front of the house with the L shape. Yeah. And facing Griffith. The main entrance is going up those stairs, right?
Sort of looks like.
There's also another entry from below.
So this is, never mind, I see it. Basically.
Sorry, I put that the wrong one. This is on Main Street. Is it on the original?
So is there attic space in each?
They're just trusses, yeah, it's all trusses. There's no like livable spaces, just two-story.
But is there space that's high enough to build?
Yes,
Oh, it's this.
And the attic space, and the attic space.
I'm not sure what you're asking, it's a trusses,
Yeah.
so it's an attic, but there's no livable space in the attic.
Is this going in between the two new houses?
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so it's a 2,300 square
So
foot.
these are those two new houses that are identical, so it's going in between those two.
Yeah, it's a 2,300 square foot, 3-bedroom, 1-car garage, two-story.
So those trees out front, I think those trees will be going away, right?
Actually, no, I think I can save, there's one small one, but the other ones are going to remain.
Yes, because there is something in the mill site section of the guidelines about maintaining trees or saving the trees. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't put that anything that can be saved.
Your ground level gonna be the same as the ones adjacent to you?
Yeah, it'll be about the same elevation as the first.
Then that means your height's gonna be about the same as the ones adjacent to you as well?
No, because it's only 2-story.
Okay, so you're gonna be a little lower. than
It's a
that.
lot different, yeah.
Gotcha.
Well,
Where's the other right there? Brent, would you flash that screen?
The one I just had up?
where is it now?
I guess the first issue was lot coverage.
Right.
Yeah.
Between those two houses.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the same level as these and not as tall as either one.
And you'll do your best to preserve some of those trees.
Yeah, I think there's just one small one that's,
There's a couple tiny ones.
yeah.
Oh, that's sort of stands out, isn't it?
What was your question, Bob?
Lot coverage. I mean, if I'm reading what Rick put together, it's bigger than the allowable 35%.
Then why do we have it in our packet?
Oh, we see.
I didn't know I put the information in.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I look back at some of the others, and the others are bigger than 35% also. The other two that are there.
I think it was based on 40% lot coverage is what it was.
What is the lot coverage in that area?
I thought it was 40.
Give me a second, I'll go look it up.
Yeah.
What did we?
That's what the other two were.
Yeah, they were, this is basically the
It should
same
be
one.
the same, yeah.
It's on those
Oh, it's on the
side.
hillside. Because if
We crossed
something
the
does
line.
not meet the zoning, we should not have it in our package.
So not to exceed 35%. And this is 39.
Yeah, I think Gary went off, that it was 40% on these lots.
I'm pretty sure I reviewed this to get it in there, but. Maximum building coverage, 35%.
In the mill site district?
That's correct.
Okay.
And I believe his is at 39%. I flagged it,
Yeah.
showing.
But if there is a zoning to be resolved, it should not come to the DOC. That's what we have agreed upon any number of times.
Okay, so here's the issue then. If this house doesn't fit the zoning, do we spend the time to review it, but we can't approve it, or do we want to see it again?
We should not do, and we should not even be looking at it.
Okay. So unfortunately, we're not doing a lot of coverage on this one.
That's our problem, internally.
Because
as you know, that continually gets us into that same problem. Because if you look at it and say, you know, so you got to know if you can get it from another commission, and they walk into the other commission saying, well, we don't.
So you have two options. The first option is redo your design to fit 35%. Your second option is to go before the adjustment board and request a variance. But you have to prove that it's a hardship, and there's like 9 different guidelines that you have to meet in order to do it. If not, you'll get denied.
Okay.
So that's really your only two options.
not really a good hardship reason for.
No, I know, but it's,
Yeah.
you have to, you can still redesign it. I think that's your best choice is to redesign it.
All right, thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah, but when they say, can we lot coverage? Is it covering it at 4,000 square feet? Or is this the house?
Yeah, it says
Oh,
lot
the
area.
lot size is.
It's a tiny lot,
Yeah.
small one.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, I think you needed to reduce it.
And I mean, I know where Jeff is
Square
coming, because the last two houses are the same lot size and same coverage. They're roughly 40%,
yeah,
they're just under 40%, so that's what kind of struck me when I saw that, because I saw, well, 35 is less than 40. So that would be ready.
Those others should have been flagged.
Yeah, they should have been flagged for lot size, because I'll tell you,
But nobody
it's
flagged.
like wall-to-wall house down there.
well,
Sean knows, you go by there.
It is. That's how I was surprised to
And
see
this
there's a lot
house-
there.
The footprint of the house itself is actually, it looks like it's bigger. I'm looking at setbacks.
Yeah, setbacks.
From side to side, it's like a foot or two wider than the first one you built. I don't know about the other one, but
we just looked at that picture. It looks pretty narrow.
Yeah, it's-
yeah, it's tight.
but you're right, the others are some time ago, and when we received the report, it said that they were, it said. they-
Well, it actually said, I mean, I pulled up the report from the first house, and if I'm looking at the right one. You're not looking at the right one. We can go back and look.
Yeah, well, and we don't need to do that now, but, you know, I can understand him being upset.
What's the address to, do we have an address to what the side then?
Well, the 11,
11, 12, and 11, 16.
but maybe not, because sometimes
I'm not sure we
I'm
would need to resolve.
I mean, I can go pull up my report to see what I wrote.
I think we need to do
Well,
that
we made it
sometime,
before
we
you.
don't need to do them, I'm sure.
I know the first one was
They were before you.
Oh, okay.
And so what we're saying is that nobody checked it for us and said.
I thought I did that, made the mistake.
No, I don't think that's what happened here, I think that
Okay.
nobody had actually figured the lot size.
well, I mean, this just looks way too big when I first saw it.
Yeah. But that's not, what the problem is the lot size itself.
Well, yeah.
It's a small
Correct.
lot.
The lot's too
Yeah, that's correct. The lot is already small.
All the way around.
Right, and it's
They designed
grandfathered
it
in because it
oversized.
was, you know, that's the way it was done.
Yeah.
Is the lot grandfathered in?
Yeah, I mean, it's a legal lot.
Yeah,
I know it's a legal
but you
lot.
still have to build what's appropriate size on it,
Yes,
so
you do.
so it'll have to be small.
And, you know, you got through all that drama. So it's.
I mean, it's still,
Can I say something too? When I looked on, to grab, my staff report, I used one that was similar, which would have been the house beside it. And I thought something was very odd. When it did the lot size and the lot coverage, they put, where I have on mine, I put it on no and made it yellow for you to see it.
Yeah.
Theirs was on the other side with the smaller, but it was as if it was approved.
yeah,
And so that's why I thought something strange here,
Oh.
and I changed it to put it on the no side, just so that you guys would see it, because I'm like Cindy's like, why is this here? Because I was confused myself why the others were.
Yeah, well, at this
It
point.
wasn't
So that's why
fine.
I didn't.
It wasn't fine.
You did a good job.
Okay, I
And
didn't,
that's what flagged me to look at,
yeah,
go back and try to look at the other.
I was
couldn't find one of them,
confused
but I looked at the first one that was built. And I said, oh, okay, this doesn't meet lot size either.
yeah.
No, but those are the way those lots were platted, so they are grandfathered in as long as they're over 3,500 square foot lots. You can build on them, but you can't build
Exceed that.
coverage that's more than 30.
I agree, that's why I flagged it.
And so that's, it's not that he can't build on this lot, he can, he cannot build this house because it's too big.
How much, 70 square feet?
I think I came up with like 60 square feet, he has to reduce it.
Yeah, but I think that as far as his options, one of his easiest options is to reduce the size of the house. Right,
And that's probably-
I think 5%.
There is another easier one, remove the roof over the deck.
That's
But
not,
at that point, the
Anytime there's a
garage
roof
is
over it,
out,
it's
we're having a
complete.
really tough time.
Hold on, let me go get them.
no, but here's the
there's no
other
house
thing,
lot
but here's the other thing, if he takes the roof off of that deck, then his garage sticks out.
coverage.
Yeah, there's, well, that's
you
still a
know.
problem now.
Yeah,
It sticks out too far down.
yeah, I know, but without that roof over there, it might even have seeming front.
I saw that as an issue, with windows and doors might be an issue.
Okay.
On 11, 12, the documents had 42% as the lot coverage.
No, yeah.
Wow.
What size is your lot?
4042, same size. Nice shot.
Okay.
I thought the historic was 40% and then was reduced as we go into the different districts.
No, it's actually the other way around. Is ours 40% and so.
I think ours is
40% down.
Yeah, I thought so.
We tried very hard when they reduced the percentage to bring ours down to 35 also, but the board wouldn't go with it because there's so many screwy lots.
Okay, so this one we just rejected, basically, we didn't do anything.
Well, let me ask a question though, if it gets rejected, does he have to pay another application fee? Okay. Because I was like, this table for the fix?
No, this is not table.
It's not
It is not, it's not, it should not have been accepted to the agenda. It's almost as though it didn't exist, this was, yeah. It should have been sent back to him before he paid Just keep this stuff, oh man, no, fix this. Okay, are we on?
That's from my, he's supposed to, but zero doesn't.
That's why I have to say. Thank you, Jack.
Okay, so we're on, Georgetown Gazebo.
I defer to Bob and Cindy on that.
The town.
The gazebo, and the gazebo,
Yes.
I prefer Cindy, because she got it first.
Yeah.
If you recuse yourselves, you just happen to be lucky enough to have a big enough quorum.
that doesn't matter.
Bob sent you a-
And one has to recuse for something, it doesn't.
Doesn't matter.
They, yes, we have recused ourselves for some reason, we looked at this project, not that either of us are building it. The town board essentially said that they wanted, and it makes sense, to have railings coming down on both sides of the stairway into the gazebo. You can't gaze, but you can't, somebody said, should we put one in the middle? Obviously, if you're gonna move picnic tables up and down, you're not gonna put one in the middle. And the idea is that it will be a baluster on each side. And they have to put in a top post on the bottom post because the posts up top here don't align with the side of the stairway quite. But it will be the same. It will be the same balusters as the balusters on the porch rail. And it will have the same kind of rail on both sides. So it essentially will look, and there'll be a little cap, just a flat little cap on the post on the bottom. So it will look sort of, you know, it will look like it was always there.
Can it be painted white or green,
just
just for
like,
balance?
what?
It needs to be on both sides for balance.
Well, the board, last night said, yes, it should be on both sides.
I think we both.
It should be.
Yeah.
It will look better if it's on both sides.
Well, one-
Would we want to consider replacing the treads
Well,
and putting and coming off of the existing posts?
Yeah, those treads aren't anything special. I'd go ahead and put steel in, you know, black steel steps.
What do you think?
But I mean, they're,
I think we should
I would go ahead and
put
get
whatever,
rebuy,
up on top, whatever stairs they use.
Yeah,
That's
those
like
things were
stairs.
good.
Just relocate.
that wouldn't be a problem. You could always go around that, but.
If you're gonna do it, you might as well tear everything apart and do it the right way.
I agree.
All right.
Because, I mean, if you're gonna put you're only gonna have like a 3-inch gap between the column that's there and the top post.
Okay, so widen the stairway to the columns.
That's what I was planning.
The column pulls out right through here.
Yeah, this is
So
like,
you just, you curve your top step. Okay.
you fall on that.
He's gonna yeah, the price of the game just went up, but yes, that's certainly possible, but you want all the treads replaced.
By the time you mess around trying to add the posts on the side stuff, you do the stringers and
Yeah.
you have to replace the stairs in there at some point.
At some point in time, you're gonna have to.
Steel's a bit on.
What about lights? Should we add lights too?
Well, then you can get rid of the
Double,
makeshift bottom stairs.
yeah,
And they, you know, put
that's
a.
like sanding out the
Okay,
leaves.
so we will.
Get rid of that double.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I have balusters, I've got the right,
It's very
let's go over
hard.
my house,
It
it's
does,
have to
it
be
does.
3x3,
Yeah.
which is
Nice.
what I've got, you just have to go ahead and include
I don't know if this height
So,
is the
okay,
same.
we'll take it out.
They're the
them.
same all the way.
All right, so take it down.
All right,
Because this
yes,
one's
thank you,
huge too.
Richard.
Okay,
So we're widening the steps to the width of the posts,
yes,
Yeah. So that the railing comes off the post.
and we're putting in new steps.
and we're putting in new steps, but we can supply him with the balusters. All he has to do is fill them.
And if he wants a price for concrete, I can At a totally different price.
Is there any concrete there?
Yeah, there's not much concrete here.
Well,
There's
you're gonna need to
concrete
figure
over
out
there.
how you just put that box post.
Yes, oh, yeah.
Oh, concrete steps, let's just do that.
What's that?
Concrete steps.
We can do that?
That's
Oh, no, they should be flagstone.
We have free flights then.
I thought it was the extra. Okay.
Hey, heated steps.
Okay.
Lights under.
Lighted heated steps for the snow.
Well, doesn't it need to be a ramp?
And a ramp. Skate park ramp.
Okay, kids, do we
How
need
is that?
signs for this? Or just the universal stamp? Replace, it's not replacing.
I'm not surprised you decided for this, I recused myself.
Right,
Yeah, me
right.
too.
No, you did.
I would move that we, I don't think we decided that we replace the,
Steps.
that we add 2 handrails to the gazebo in City Park and replace the stairs, and that they be constructed to match what's there.
Had to come off.
Is that your motion?
That's
So moved, I'll make the motion to use the used.
Yes, you have.
He can't say
You made the
that.
motion.
I'll second it. Okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Against?
I'll do that.
Okay. Hush. Okay.
My cousin stairs. Very material. There you go.
I'd be better a little wider too, they even look that.
Yeah, well, yeah, they should be.
They don't look. It's grand and.
Oh, good.
They look like they've been repaired.
Yes, yes, I know what he would say.
It is a little scary one. All right, so, got that over, you guys are unrecused, let's go to items to track. Continue on Excel.
Yeah, it's on the demolition by neglect, our town administrator has been working hard. And he and I met with Mark Grable, about the Foley House, and, yes, it looks like good things are gonna happen to that portion and the work on Foley House, and, you know, they're talking to a contractor, getting it
Nice, nice.
so that one seems to be proceeding. I don't know where Rick is on all the rest of them.
I don't remember what I said last time about Kosky, so.
Well, quite a bit, and so
He's
we
gonna
have,
sue you.
we have
Okay.
a representative you're working with now.
Yes.
And his name and,
Carrie Ann
yes, and he's going
and Mark
to.
Reynolds. So where we are right now is, I did meet with him, I explained to him that situation. He sent a letter to the town, very formal, very long, saying, I disagree with X, Y, Z, however, I'll do this. And then the next point, I disagree with X, Y, and Z, however, I'll do this. And I wrote a letter back in response saying, thank you for a productive meeting. I'm so glad to see that you are agreeing to make the repairs. I understand that Mark will be the contractor, would like to know when this is gonna start. And it is unnecessary to use any other jargon of bullying and everything else. It's not very productive in this situation. And that was it.
Nice.
So, because I'm kind of like, why threaten a lawsuit with me? I mean, it's just not getting anywhere. So I sent that. We talked on the phone after that, and and the conversation was very light, and he said that he is planning to make the revisions. However, the only contentious item is the stone wall or whatever, the granite wall. So I did, however, call Safe Built and said to immediately flag if there's any way that they're trying to go around to do a demolition permit that the town does not agree to any, whether it be the house or the wall, but it is important for us to see these. So they said they would not issue any permit without our approval first.
Wonderful.
So when it's starting.
They're not doing
That's it.
it. They can bring somebody to do it.
Okay. All right. And Crazy Horse.
So Crazy Horse, I got a letter from him today, and it was 8 pages long, and I tried to read it, and it's very hard.
That's that crazy part. It sounds like horse.
Me and Jim both spent an hour trying to interpret what this letter said. I don't know, I can't tell what he's saying, and so Cindy, you may be able to come and read the letter, but
Is it
he's basically singling me out. There's lots of other signs, and he gives lots of examples all over Georgetown, all over Idaho Springs, all over Colorado. Of there are people who have, they're no longer a current business, but they still have their signs up and wiring out. And then he lists all the businesses that have existed a long time, but I'm like, I don't understand the point of this because you're not a business.
Yeah.
And I don't care who's been in here, but he's still not a business.
We're all of them.
Is that what that was? So he face to face.
Is he over
Okay,
where are you looking at?
so at the very bottom, it says, members informed him that the structure would block off-street parking, and it wouldn't, it would block it, it would replace his off-street parking, so.
I still don't know where you're looking, hold on. Okay, off-street park, let's see. Okay, rewrite it for me then.
So informed him that the structure would delete his off-street parking or
Eliminate?
eliminate his off-street parking, yeah. Sorry to be picky, but,
No, yeah.
okay, that's all I got, so.
Okay.
You should minutes with that
With the correction.
Comment, correction. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay, and then we also had streetscape items and Taos encroachment on the list here before we adjourn. Do we want to go to next time?
Yes.
Okay, all right, then let's adjourn.
What's one of the next one?
Streetscape and the Taos encroachment.
Is the town clerk, is that Mike Huggins?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, think of what address that is. It's gotta be like 5. No, come on, John. What address is Mike Huggins building?
4 something.
It's for
Something, 410, 412.
That's it. It was.
It's like a hyphen, 410, 412.
Is that the right side of the street, or was it 409 and 411? No?
Yeah, I think it's 410, 412. I'm not a dead man, but.
Okay.
Maybe.